Yo. What's good, YouTube? It's your boy Avexys right here. We're about to get right into the best controller settings in the game for not only the Xbox controller, but for the PS5 controller as well. All right. I'll also have some secret sauce at the end of this that will make the game feel a lot less clunky so you guys can be, moving like your boy, feeling very fluid out there in the field, man. And it's going to just be overall just better experience for you as you're playing the game. So let's get straight into this, man. First thing you want to do before you even go to controls, this is a very important game setting. All right, you want to turn off camera shake. Now, if you're on MNK, what this does for you, I don't really have many MNK inputs or anything like that for this game, but I know for a fact that it actually removes all recoil. Maybe that's a bug for now, but take off camera shake so the game doesn't like you're shaking like when you're running, or you don't get shakes off explosions and things like that, because that can mess up your accuracy and just mess up your vision too, to be honest. It feels like you can't really see as much when you're really running the screen is shaking. So definitely turn that off. All these other things are completely just your preference. You can change reticle color if you want to. Put on the colorblind setting. I've seen some people, use that, and they like how it looks. It changes the game. It's a cool little change they added, in Gears of War Reloaded especially. But once we got outside of that, let's go straight to controls. We'll do video settings right at the end of this video as well. So if you guys want to skip to that, feel free. All right, so what we do, put no for both of the first two. You don't want to invert either axis or it's going to be like backwards. And I put all sensitivities on 30, all right? Well, the reason for this, because this is actually a very slow Gears of War game. And if you played anywhere between like 20 to 30 on recent Gears games, or if you're new, then just think of this as like a medium setting on COD, to be honest, because 30s in this game actually feels very slow in comparison to like other Gears of War games like Gears 5. 30s feels a lot faster than 30s in this game. So I played 22s in Gears 5, but I played 30s in this game. So that just, kind of shows you the difficulty to control this is not that high. So I'll put all 30s. It kind of makes up for, the lack of turning, and it's some type of like aim acceleration, or just, I would call it like kind of more like a response curve that this game has, that as you turn more, your screen gets a little bit faster over time. So play maxed out, it's kind of the best thing you could do. Vibration, this is completely preference. All right, I know some people that play with it on, and that kind of helps them figure out the timings for the game, like build that muscle memory faster, like when you're upping, hitting covers and stuff, and being more responsive to it. So that's on you. I'll play with it off, but that is a preference. Now, control schemes. This is when it gets gritty, all right? Now, the absolute best control scheme in this game is alternate, all right? Now, if you guys were Gears 5 players, you guys remember there was a thing called DEFAULTERNATE, which was like default alternate, and it was a blend. But I don't think that's on this game. I haven't really touched the controller customization, and I would just outright say that you don't even want to be on that either, even if that is in the game, because alternate is so much better in this game because of how the covers work. There are a lot of covers in this game that it feels like you should be able to hit. Like, you could look at them like maybe it's a fence or it's a broken wall or something like that. And in Gears 5, it will let you grab that cover and just go towards the end of it, But in this game, it literally won't let you grab that cover at all. So what happened is, if you try to take cover on that, you would just roll. And the game is already too clunky to be rolling around and dying because you're rolling, all right? So alternate control scheme, what this does for you is actually separates take cover and evade, all right? This is very good for you, because it just literally limits all the possibility of you misroll. And the only way you can misroll now is if you hit a cover, and while you're attached to cover, you like move your left stick over and you roll off. Now, this is the same thing for PS5 controllers. If you play alternate on PS5 controllers, then it's just simply, instead of A to take cover, it's just X to take cover. So it's the whole idea behind alternate is to take off your evade with the same button that you press to roll. All right, so you also already run with that button as well, and it just makes the game feel so much more fluid. Like, you can literally walk around a map, spam your wall bounce, and you're going to be grabbing every single cover. You're going to be moving a lot faster, okay? Now, this is a secret sauce, all right, for you guys. We're going to get to that later. We're getting there, though. We are getting there. Now, another thing that you can play on, that if, like, let's say you don't want to play claw or paddles, because playing claw or paddles is a way of holding your controller, is extremely strong when it comes to Gears of War, all right? Because a lot of these movement text, what it takes is for you to be able to press the buttons and move your screen at the same time, or it's going to be a lot harder to do. And then you have tournament, okay? Now, tournament, it does allow you to roll. If I do find a way to bind alternate to tournament, make sure you guys comment below, and I'll boost that comment up, pin it or whatever. But tournament, what it does is it makes your take cover, evade, and ready run on LB. And this actually allows you to have that kind of advantage where you could press your buttons and move your sticks at the same time, because you never have to move your right thumb off the joystick if you're using that, if you're playing that way. So tournament is actually a pretty good control scheme. I would honestly just avoid default. Default is cool, but it's just so much. It just punishes for so much, like so many more things When it comes to moving, this game's already pretty clunky. So like I said, you don't want to be like rolling around the map and dying because you're rolling. And yes, in Gears of War, if you don't know already, you will take an L in a lot of your fights if you misroll or if you just roll during the middle of it. Rolling actually gets you killed. As cool as it may look, rolling, hopping over cover, anything that's an animation lock, it really does get you killed in this game. So you want to stay away from that. Now, Omni Evade, what this is it lets you, like it says, outside of the cardinal directions, you can either be, you can roll forward, backwards, left, and right. But when you have Omni or directional evade on, you can do like front left diagonal, front right diagonal, back left diagonal, back right diagonal, on top of the 4 extra directions, the 4 standard directions, that is. So I keep this on because what this allows me to do is it allows me to roll back and cover a lot easier, okay? So let's say I'll walk out, walk out cover at an angle. I can easily just hit that back diagonal roll and get right back behind the cover that was behind it first. Now, controller customization, I haven't toyed with this too much. I might make an updated video when the game actually drops on different ways to tune this, and maybe there's a new control scheme you can make. But I do know there's like a certain problem right now with the MK players that they can't bind taking cover and rolling to 2 different buttons, so that's kind of annoying for them. Now let's get straight into the display settings. After that, I will get into the secret sauce for your homies. All right, secret sauce for the boys. All right, pause. But what we're gonna do, is we're gonna look right at the screen resolution. You want to put this on whatever is your native. All right, if you're not on PC, don't worry about this section. You can skip straight to the end of the video for the controller settings. The rest of that to make your game feel 10 times less clunky. But if you are on display settings, make sure you go to your screen resolution and put it on native. There are a lot of different bugs with the display settings currently that people are saying that they're experiencing stutters, frame rate glitches and stuff like that. And you want to kind of just copy and paste all these things. VSync off is very important as well. You honestly want to play VSync off any game. This is not even just Gears at this point, man. Always turn VSync off. I swear I never really liked it. Maybe in like a campaign game where input latency and stuff like that doesn't matter as much, you can have VSync on. FPS display, I always like having it just to see if my game's ever running bad or if I have a frame glitch and things like that. But I don't get them anymore after I did all these settings. So brightness, this is all up to you. I keep mine just standard. I think the game's very bright anyways. So if you want to raise it a little bit more, I would recommend that before lowering it. Maybe if you want to lower it and make the game feel more scary when the campaign is out, that's all for you. All right. Now let's go straight to advanced. These are actually kind of important too that I learned. These are actually what were causing me these different frame glitches where it feel like my game is locked to like 60 frames per second. And it's pretty much what happened is like when you tab out, that's when this kind of happens. It's like it tabs out and it's like your game is stuck in a tabbed out mode. And it's like it never really comes back, so you have to restart your game to stop your game from having a frame glitch. So you want to turn both of these settings off, all right? Turn both of these settings off. Display adapter, put that to whatever graphics card you have. I have 3080 Ti, and the game runs very smooth. This game's actually optimized very well. Make sure you press apply. I didn't press apply because I'm already on it anyways. Now let's get to the graphics settings, all right? Now this game is actually optimized very well, like I just said. You can kind of run anything as long as you have a pretty good enough graphics card to go with it. I would just make sure that for now, until they really tune this a little bit more, which I think they will when the game drops, I would take off any anti-aliasing option because I feel like the DLSS, it looks a little bit blurry for me and doesn't run as smooth. So I'll just run mine on none and the game looks absolutely incredible. Resolution scaling, put it on native. And then everything else from this point on, you can run medium and low settings, and whatever rig you have, it should actually run pretty well. But I run mine pretty high, and I'll actually stream on the same PC that I play on, and this game runs still like 240 plus frames, which is pretty fire, right? So if you guys want to, if you want just maximum performance, you can put everything on low. You know what I mean? Everything on low, lowest, and your game will run fucking phenomenal. If not, you can just copy this. Make sure you have motion blur off. This game has way too much movement and stuff like that to be missing your targets because you can't see them while you're doing cover slides and things like that. So you definitely want to have this off. This is a new setting. You can have this on, you know what I mean? I noticed like reduces some of the flashes and can actually help you a little bit more. But I like that regular Gears experience. I do like it, feeling a little bit hectic sometimes. I feel like that's just part of the experience. But if you do not want that, it just actually does limit it some more. So this definitely does help mix, some of those flashes, like those screen flashes with explosions and stuff, a little bit less, which is good. But yeah, I play it mine off. This is just definitely a preference. Everything else here though, these are your shadows and stuff. You guys already know, man. Shadows in most games, you put that on lower off. I have it on high just for the sake of making my videos look a little bit better and the stream and stuff like that. So yeah, that's pretty much up to you guys. Now, let's get straight to the sauce that's going to make your game feel a lot less clunky. Now, for you guys that have a DualSense Edge, okay, we're going to start with the PS5 boys because I already had that plugged in. And I'm going to show you guys this real quick. We'll pop it up on the screen momentarily. Here we have the PlayStation Accessories app. All right, now what you want to do is this PlayStation Accessories app. You could take whatever, right? I'm gonna make this new player profile real quick. And the biggest thing that I noticed, right, is this game has some type of accelerate, like a pretty slow acceleration when it comes from the walk, or not even just the walk. There's like a slow walk, then there's a walk, and then there's like a jog animation before you even press or run. And what you want to do is kind of skip the initial 2 steps and just automatically be in a jog animation. You're still gonna be very good at controlling your left stick and how you walk on a map. But what I would do is I will put this on quick. If you have an Elite controller, like Xbox Elite controller, you put it on instant. And what this does is it just raises the curve where you kind of instantly go into that forward motion animation. It takes a lot less of a press. Like if you guys look right here, I move it barely and it's already going like all the way towards the end, which is good. Because what I noticed in this game, especially when you're trying to take covers, the game responds way more to full presses than it does to like the little halfways, like the normal one. Like if I was to normally do like this much, this wouldn't really mean much, and it'll still be a little hard to wall bounce until I push it all the way forward. So it kind of skips all the way to the push forward feeling, and this makes your game feel a lot smoother. Okay, and let's go to the next controller. The GameSir controller is the next one that I'm going to show you guys on. It's the GameSir Nexus app. If you don't have that already, you can actually have that on your Xbox as well. I'm showing you guys these two especially because this is not only limited to PC. If you have a GameSir controller, they're like $40, and they're very good. Low input latency, all that good stuff. I'll show you guys this real quick. Give me 1 second. And these controllers, man, they're fucking phenomenal for this game. I'm not even kidding. So let's look at this next. And now you see the GameSir app. And this is also in the Xbox app. You can go to the Xbox or Xbox console. So you can go to the Xbox store and download the GameSir app, and here you are. Now, if you guys notice, I have my left stick range literally at 50%. Okay, I play my right stick on raw, and this kind of makes it feel like you can be a little bit more accurate. You have more range of motion to work with when it comes to your right stick and accuracy and stuff like that. And if you want to do that, feel free. But the left stick is what we're more so worried about here. Now, this, like I said, the same way it was with PS5 controllers. If you didn't watch this part. What it does is it makes it where like the smallest little press kind of does like a full forward press pretty much with your left stick. So this makes the game feel a lot more responsive, a lot more fluid. It's like, you skip that walk animation, which is very dope. And that's kind of what you're looking for here. I wouldn't play raw on your left stick because you don't need all that range of motion when it comes to moving around the map. You do need that with your accuracy, but now with your movement, I would probably never play with that. So it's the same thing as if you were to add like a control freak or something like that onto your left stick. And I'll also have a code in the description for control freak as well, because those actually do help when it comes to accuracy. I would only put control freak on your right stick if you guys are using those. Now, yeah, so pretty much you could toy this as much as you want. I like to play with no dead zones. I'm a little annoyed they don't have a dead zone option, but I will play this game with no dead zones because the game automatically has dead zones that are like just locked in the game. And those dead zones are pretty high, which also kind of causes the game to feel a little bit like, less responsive. If you guys want to mess with the dead zone settings, put it on 0 for both, no matter what controller you're using. I know that Astro C40 is another controller I have that also I could kind of ramp up the left stick range to feel a lot more responsive. And that's pretty much the best settings that you could have for Gears of War Reloaded. And not even just Gears of War Reloaded, this actually does help in like 5 and stuff like that too. So I would recommend you guys try this out for yourself. Let me know what you guys think. And make sure you leave a comment, like, and subscribe for your boy, man. We're out, bro. Let's go Gears of War Reloaded, baby. And I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Peace, peace, peace.